I've dealt with an agent who's new, and she was amazing, and I've dealt with an agent who was supposedly seasoned, and every house that I mentioned to them, because I do my own research as well, and every house that I mentioned to them, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's a perfect house." Well, it can't be the perfect house. Not every one of them.
The perception I feel with seasoned agents are they're a little bit busy. I felt like my purchase was small on their scale.
Okay.
Which I know is not everyone, but I feel like maybe someone newer is really wanting to gain the clientele, so they'll put more effort, whereas a seasoned agent may have 20 years of clients.
The fact that they're seasoned, I just felt like when I came across a few seasoned agents, even in the case that was within my family, they just seemed like they knew what was already right and seemed too pushy for me.
New agents could be a little more hungry.
Yeah.
Right, and I think they may focus on everything for you. It just seems like they'd be more into it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're too busy, sometimes it's tough to focus on. And how clients are. Everyone thinks that their purchase or sale is the most important one.
Like, I just find sometimes you'll see just a picture of like the kitchen and this area, but then there's other pictures you're like, well, what about the rest of the house? Just to get like a general idea, but they're not there. So does that mean like they weren't photo ready, or was there a reason why they weren't posted? I always wondered, like, what was the reason why the photos of the bedrooms are, like they were too small?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what's wrong with them?
What I like to see, what I see and I like is when there's videos. I think that gives a much better feel of the aesthetic and of the house itself. And even now, like, you have drones. I've seen houses where there's drones flying above it, and they show the backyard and the landscaping, which I think is great. Which totally is extremely well thought out and way better than just a bunch of pictures.
Email.
I would say text.
I like a phone call myself.
Okay.
Email.
Phone call.
Phone call and text.
Excellent.
I would expect them to give the recommendation of what we need to do.
Okay.
So, not stay silent and let us kind of deal with photos and inspectors and what timings and showings. I would hope that they could say, well, if you want to get the best value, if you want to do this, then you would need this.
Yeah, I would agree with what she has to say as well, because at times when I would go into other people's homes, I would saying, oh my gosh, why didn't the realtor tell them to clean it up? Or why didn't they tell them to like get all that brown things out of the corners of the bathtub? It was pretty disgusting, and I was surprised that somebody was willing to put their name behind it.
So, I'm hoping that at least, a realtor knows a stager, or, you know what I mean? Something like, I don't know what to do. I don't know anything about decorating and stuff like that, right?
I think the realtor, need to treat the selling process as a project. He needs a strategy to how he will sell this house with the best value and the least, effort or least expenses. So, it's a project, and he needs to have a full strategy. I'm not expecting him just to negotiate.
I'd expect him to be very realistic about the market. Let me, without sugarcoating it, give me the actual values of what's really your house going to go for, as opposed to just going for a safe sale.
Yeah.
So I just want him to be forthcoming about it and see what we can do to get the best out of it.
I still get like those little magnetic calendars with their business card and the little mini calendar.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a nice gesture just to know that he still kind of has this, on file.
So this realtor was actually recommended from a family member, and this realtor actually still sends the family member like holiday cards. So that I think it's fine. Like when it comes to Christmas, she still gets a card, Merry Christmas, hope you're happy in your home. So things along that line, not every month, but when it comes to big holidays.
The one realtor I used a while back, he knew I was an avid golfer. I love golfing, and just what he did was he just did an automatic subscription to Golf Now. So I got a magazine in the mail every month, and that was enough for me to remember him.
Yeah.
Right, but it wasn't
Was that your
intrusive at
closing
all.
gift?
I'm sorry?
Was that your closing gift?
No, that was
Nope.
just he just did it without even asking. Like it was kind of a surprise, right?
So long as I'm happy with the deal at the end, I think I'm fine.
I didn't receive a gift, but wouldn't make a difference. I mean, I'm happy I got the house that I wanted, so
That's
it's
enough
good.
gift.
Yeah, that's enough gift for me.
I've never really received a gift, but again, I think the little things, like I know realtors who send a vase and some nice flowers and stuff like that, which I think the smaller subtleties are more important than a huge gift, as long as the job is done right.
I think it is important, and the size doesn't really matter.
We got a basket, I think.
Okay.
The family enjoyed it when they came over. It's fine. I don't think size really matters. It's a nice thought. I mean, we went through a couple-month process. So instead of just closing that door and saying, here are your keys, have a nice day, they came back with a basket, and I think that was a nice thought.
Awesome.
For me, I'm going to say a lawyer. You have to be knowledgeable about the area of expertise.
Yep.
You have to know the laws and the laws governing, your business transaction, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say a lawyer.
Lawyers?
Yeah.
I would say sales.
Salespeople?
Yeah, I mean,
Like our car sales?
no,
Shoe
not
sales?
that, but like maybe insurance
Okay.
or technology or something
Okay.
like that,
Yeah.
or financial advisors. So something in sales where anyone can kind of sign up for it, but you need to stand out and be good at your job to kind of get to a
Rise
level.
above?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Stockbrokers.
Okay. Cool.
I think they're valuable. I mean, I know there's people who say you don't need a realtor. I feel like we did try and do some research on our own, but in terms of the buying process, like I have where would I get a home inspector? Like, where do these guys come from? I don't know. Or, the condition is this and that, and they help you kind of guide you if you're being realistic or if the seller's not being realistic, or else you just have this back and forth with no knowledgeable formal information.
I think, they're extremely valuable. Like my husband and I, we had no idea, like without the real estate agent, like I really don't think we would have purchased anything. So you need someone with that knowledge base of information to kind of just guide you. Even if you may not necessarily agree or disagree, just you need someone with a knowledge base of the housing market.
I think the realtor has more job than just accessing the website and providing you listings. I think giving you that learning curve through the process and walk you through it. But I still believe the realtor value in selling is way higher than the buying process.
I think it's the value added for a buying agent can be tough to justify to buyers sometimes, because in their eyes they're like, well, I'm not paying anything, I'm buying the house, right? Whereas I think selling agents, maybe they tend to they can justify their
We do a lot more to sell ourselves when we're trying to sell your house.
Just speaking from a buying perspective, I think the realtor actually values the client a lot more, and me as an individual necessarily may not do all the footwork that he does. He does way more for me, and just as far as so long as I'm included in the process about the whole idea of buying, that's the most valuable part of it.